Welcome everyone. Shifting gears now, and I'll be leading the next two modules. So starting with, just to check in, is Albert here from CircuitMess? All right then. Well, it's gonna be my pleasure to present now Spica Tech, and founded in 2018. And coming from Lebanon, please welcome on stage Rian Abbas. The stage is yours, and you have 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Rian Abbas, the founder and CEO of Spica Tech. Our kids and youth and teens in the MENA region are the most digital human in the world, digital junkies. And not only this, I'm talking about a region where we have thousands of universities, science and art universities, millions of graduated students that can't find their dream jobs. And also we have millions of players that you can't find a champion or even a professional in this field. And we're still Arabizing video games, although this industry, the esports and the gaming industry, is one of the biggest industries in the world. You can't find a decent education in the gaming. And a few years ago, we started Spica Tech, the first gaming academy in the region. Since then, we created 16 courses with 6 different levels, thousands of students. We publish the games online because we're not only teaching coding or skills or level design. It's a project-based learning, so they create really engaging and playable games. We were really evaluated by Forbes, Cartier, MIT, won a lot of competitions. We have different models. We have client schools, universities, corporation, governments, so B2B, B2C, B2G. And also we worked with NGOs. We were empowering kids with difficulties and girls also in the video games. It's so important to have biggest number of girls in this industry. We have international partnerships, and also we have international guests. Me, myself, I'm ex-Nintendo Digipen employee, so I have a lot of friends in the industry, so that's why we had really big international partnership. Now we are creating the biggest hub of esports and game development in the region. I will jump to the next slide so I can have. We have business models like online courses, physical courses, and schools courses. We started already. We have units in KSA and Bahrain and Emirates, and we will scale to the whole region. But also we're going online with the e-learning gamified platform. And this is how, because the e-learning industry is really huge, and also our platform is gamified, means students can learn and play in the same time. And the esports also, players can do a team and play and submit their performance online. Also, we have 3 languages, Arabic, French, and English. And also we created a system where we are creating the content. Also other game designers and developers can submit their courses on our platform. We created a system, gamified system, where they can submit their courses and play with the gamification system to follow our model. So now we're going. Thank you.
Thank you for the great presentation, Rian. And questions, Q&A now, starting with the floor here, our live jury. Anybody?
Hi, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Maybe I missed it, but can you tell us more about the revenue you've generated so far and how you plan to scale and what your margins are? Thank you.
So from the start, the cost was really low because our cost only the instructors. So we were almost profitable from the beginning because there's a lot of need, big need for our academy, especially parents, universities. Even we started with academy, and also we have a lab where any individual can create their own game in this lab. So they pay per month, yearly, or per session. Now we are asking for $2 million to create this biggest hub in the region for esports. So we're adding esports also for education. We started game development, now esports, because really we have huge number of gamers. They need this training and coaching in the region. So we already cooperating with big, because everyone is going to the region. So there's a lot of investment at the esports and game development, but it's the wrong way. So they're creating like startups or teams. Still now, it's not boosting the gaming industry. That's why everyone needs this training and coaching. So we will have all this investment, all these partners coming to the region. We will adapt these partners to our academy so they can train their teams, train everyone to be the next champions, esports champions, and independent developers from the region. So we can create millions of jobs, and we can attract these companies to come to the region and to really boost the gaming industry and esports industry.
But in terms of numbers, like how much revenue have you generated so far?
So in a few years, we generated more than $1.5 million. And from these students. And how I remember, the net profit was $600,000.
All right. So 3 minutes left. Maybe questions from the online jury. Is there anybody else online who would like to tune in for a question?
Maybe I could. Thank you for your pitch here, Skate from Depot Ventures. What would you say is your biggest struggle at this point, either from product or business perspective, and how would you like to overcome it in the future?
When we started, the biggest struggle were parents. They didn't believe that this industry can really generate money and create job opportunities for their kids or their youth or their fresh graduated from universities. It was struggle till last year, when really all the investment started to go to invest in the region, and now especially parents of kids, they play online, esports online all day. They want their kids to be productive, to have the job opportunity for this whole time playing online. So it was our first struggle to really explain to the people, the parents from the region, that this is important. This industry can create millions of jobs, because in this industry you need a lot of skills and also disciplines, like not only game developers, game artists, you need business developers, marketing, all the creative fields and science fields. So now this trigger less, parents, they believe more that the screening time should be profitable for their kids, their youth, or their fresh graduated kids.
Can we have a last question? 40 seconds to go if anybody wants to ask Rihanna a question.
Ask 4 questions. I came from Beirut today. So I arrived yesterday, all the way from Beirut to be with you today. I'm really happy, thank you.
Hi, maybe one question from my side. Hi, this is Vedran from South Asian Ventures. So can you maybe tell us more about the future outlook of the company, like what are you going to achieve with the $2 million, euros, and I mean, where do you see the company going in the next 5 years?
Yeah, so our projections are for the next 3 years. These $2 million is to grow the team, to create the online platform that we already started, and the physical academy. We'll start KSA, and our projections we will in 3 years we'll have $8 million revenue. So these are our projections based on the partners, the students, and especially our partners.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, give it a go for Ryan from Beirut and Spica Tech. Now we have one more panelist in the EdTech, and the pleasure is mine to present to you Albert from CircuitMess.
I'm sorry for being late. Like, I went to the toilet, and like the moment I walked out, like it seems that I was needed. So yeah, Anyways, thank you very much. I think I can start. Oh, there's my presentation. I suppose I go back and forth like this. Cool. Oh, the timer started. So let me go fast. Hi, my name is Albert. I'm a 23-year-old entrepreneur from Croatia. I'm building devices like these that teach kids about electronics. And the problem that we're solving is actually quite similar to the startup before, just with a different twist. We're trying to solve the fact that kids spend so much time in front of their screens, and parents, they just feel bad about it because their kids are always in front of their iPads, and suddenly parents feel like they're bad parents because they do not spend any quality time with them. And despite the fact that kids get an iPhone as soon as age 6, they still don't want to pursue a career in STEM. And this is creating a big problem where children just don't want to become engineers. We're trying to fix that by creating these educational experiences for kids that are actually fun and that can be consumed anywhere. We're doing it in a way like this, so it's actually a hardware subscription that we're selling where parents subscribe, they get a new product every 3 months, and each one of those products are based around a certain topic. They build these devices, they learn how to code, they're onboarded into the community, and the whole point of it being a subscription is that you get a new product every 3 months. And each one of those products, it's unique, it covers a different topic. This one is a DJ mix table, but we have 12 more of them. We have a voice assistant, a robotic arm, a small car that drives around autonomously and stuff like that. We have sold 55,000 of these devices so far, and we have managed to grow and bootstrap this business up to $1.3 million of revenue. And we have been selling most of our stuff to these 5 countries. And right now we're building this new thing, which is going to be a smartphone app that's going to help us reach more kids, it's going to help us scale faster, and it's going to help us bring a new source of revenue to this whole brand that we're building that's not going to be related to hardware. This new thing, we see it as some kind of an addition, not really as a hard pivot. We see it as something that's going to help us build this brand. You know how Lego, they have Lego bricks and Lego movies and stuff like that, and Lego games? This is what we're trying to build here as well. We're targeting the kids in the EU and the US at this point, and we think that, this whole market that has been around for quite some time, like educational toys, it's ready for disruption because it has been dominated by these dinosaurs for the past 100 years, such as Hasbro and the rest of them. I've been building this with a co-founder of mine. I'm from Croatia. He's as well. He has been a serial entrepreneur for 18 years now, and I also had 23 other people in the company building this whole thing with me. The big picture is that we want to become the Lego of STEM education, and this is where we see ourselves going in the future. So basically, we think that this hardware subscription is the most scalable thing that we have right now, but we also feel that this new game, the name is the Wacky Robots Universe, if you haven't figured it out, it's basically the second piece of the puzzle. Yeah, so I tried to cram as much as possible in these 3 minutes, but that's basically it. Thank you very much.
Very fast presentation. Thank you, Albert.
I can talk fast if I want.
And CircuitMess is founded in 2017, right?
That's right. In 2017, I founded it when I was 18. I decided to drop out of college to pursue my dream of becoming an entrepreneur. And
Great.
So far, it has been going good. I have no money and no time. Just kidding. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you have some questions, so let's open the panel for our live guest. 5 minutes.
Thank you, Nadia from Molten Ventures. I've got
from where? Sorry.
Nadia Molten Ventures, or Draper Esprit, we used to be called. A couple of questions here. So the first one is, can you please just walk us a bit through the unit economics for the hardware?
Yeah.
Roughly, what is also the churn? So how many years from basically the last 2-3 years? Can you please just give us examples of how many years kids are actually hooked up on the product? And then can you also please elaborate on the unit economics for the app?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. So the unit economics of the current business model, we have a gross margin of around 58% right now on the products that we have been building. Although from the time when we started out, we have been building different products, and every single product we built, we were trying to build them more and more profitable. So for example, when we were starting out, we had a bunch of these products that were super expensive, but then at one point we have managed to build some products that will have better unit economics, such as, for example, these Pokemon-like micro robots. They, in fact, are the latest product that we have managed to push out, and that they have the gross margin of around 80% on them. That's really hard to achieve on these more complex products. When it comes to the churn, we have been having a churn of 13% per quarter because the subscription is quarterly, so every 3 months you get the box. But bear in mind that this whole subscription thing, it has been going around for a very short amount of time. So we have actually launched it last year in January. But what we've seen is that up until the point that we launched this whole subscription business, we were struggling to scale the whole business because like just by selling one-off purchases, we couldn't really make it work for us. But then like what we've seen is that when we launched a subscription model, the average customer lifetime value went from like $65 per person to around $480 something per person. So that was like amazing. When it comes to the app, the unit economics are much better because it's like a virtual product that doesn't really require anything, like you don't have to buy stock. So like when it comes to the margins there, they're really hard to estimate right now because like we still haven't launched the app, although like we think that we will have the margin as large as like 85 or even more % on this whole margin. But the thing is like that we don't want to sell only the app, we want to build both of those things because the whole point of our business is teaching kids how to learn in a fun way. And in my case, I actually built the business because like I was so bored by the fact that they wouldn't give us anything to do with our hands in schools. We were only built like learning things by heart from book, and every single day I had to like go home and then build these devices at home. I was building that from like age 11. So yeah. Hope this answers your question.
Yes, and just a quick thing, have you thought also about sustainability and, for example, creating a closed economy where actually kids are renting out the hardware equipment versus selling them?
Yeah, it's a good question. So when it comes to sustainability, I would say that like the best part that we're doing here is the fact that like I was doing this research, and it turns out that a kid, an average child, they get something around 355 toys from like age 3 to age 16, you know, and most of those toys are actually thrown away in like just a couple of months, you know, like this whole industry is just a big nightmare for like ecology and like the amount of plastic waste. So here we're trying to create something that's going to provide some kind of a meaningful, long-lasting relationship to the children. You know, we actually have a product going on that's going to be released a bit later as a part of the STEM box. It's going to teach kids about green technology and green economy and stuff like that. But like, and we were using some reusable materials in our products. For example, all the boxes are made from like reused cardboard and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that it's the main strength of the business. Yeah, the main focus.
All right, thank you. Just last minute, I want to double check if anybody online wants to tune in for a question, because we want to have everybody to present.
I have a very quick question. It's Andrea from Plug and Play. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're just lagging. You sound like this, like, it's a good question. So, yeah.
Okay, I'll try. You were mentioning that the margins went up on the hardware products. Is it because you got better in making them, or you are using cheaper materials or changing type of product? Why is that?
Yeah, good question. So a couple of things. The first thing is that we relied heavily on producing everything in-house. So like, and when we were starting out, we didn't have the machines, we didn't have anything. I was 18 and I was like building this business out of nothing. But then like in some time we managed to like get some revenues and some profits, and then we reinvested it all in like putting all the supply chain in-house. The other thing is that we became a bit smarter with, okay, it's going to be a gong right now. So maybe I could just finish with the question. So the other thing is that we became smarter when it comes to pricing the products. You know, we were severely underpricing them at first because we were afraid that nobody's going to buy them. And the third thing is that, you know, we just became overall better in optimizing the product development, you know, and we're using parts that were more efficient and have, you know, figured out a way how to do it. So yeah, those three things.
Thank you, Albert.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, everyone. CircuitMess. Now closing the panel for EdTech, and we're progressing with the time, so we have to move on.